mysterious phone call to an Italian journalist.
Where did you get this information?
And if they do not believe what they are going to say,
Throws an air crash investigation into turmoil.
No, we absolutely have to have more of the wreckage.
There are rumors of a cover-up.
Nobody on the legal side believed us.
Investigators suspect foul play.
I think it was a bomb.
81 people are killed in an instant.
All of a sudden, the aeroplane was in pieces in the sky.
it was shot down by a missile.
What brought down the passenger plane? A bomb or a missile?
They said that my theory was ridiculous.
The goal that we were presented with was to find the truth.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are starting our movie.
In the glow of the setting sun, Itavia Airlines Flight 870 cruises 29,000 feet above the Mediterranean Sea.
Good evening, 870, maintain 290 over Puma.
Roger. Proceed Latina. Phone zone.
Roma, 870.
Captain Domenico Gatti and First Officer Enzo Fontana are at the controls of the DC-9.
The crew had the kind of experience that you would hope to see with your own particular crew on the flight that you're just about to take. And the flight itself was short and very easy to do.
Among the 77 passengers is Alberto Bonfietti, a journalist on his way to meet his family in Palermo.
Grazie.
Mio fratello Alberto.
That Friday afternoon, my brother Alberto took that plane to go to Palermo and meet his wife and daughter, who were already there on vacation.
Che già erano in vacanza.
The flight from Bologna to Palermo takes about an hour and a half. But just halfway to their destination, First Officer Fontana is running into a problem.
Look at this, I'm getting nothing.
Try Pons instead.
Nothing.
There's no signal from many of the navigation beacons that normally guide pilots toward Palermo.
870, Roma. It's like a graveyard tonight.
We haven't found a single beacon working properly.
Everything is a bit out.
What is your heading?
We are at
195.
Without the beacons, the pilots need directions from air traffic control.
I don't know.
Know if you want to keep that heading. Otherwise,
You can go right 15 or 20 degrees.
Okay, we put in 210.
The plane turns and flies into a pocket of turbulence.
High-level turbulence, it's just like, it's like being on a road which has got potholes in it. On many flights that anybody will take at some stage during the journey, you will encounter some degree of turbulence.
The pilots hope a lower altitude will give their passengers a smoother ride.
Let's try to get under this.
This is 870. Is it possible to get
250.
Affirmative. You can start your
Descent now.
Pilots quite often ask for a change of level. If they've got a little bit of choppiness, which they know will make the passengers uncomfortable or even nervous, then they'll try another level. And that's what we think they were trying to do.
There we go, finally.
There's more good news.
Palermo's coming in well.
The navigation beacons are now working.
And
We have the pulse at the ME.
Good. Call back for descent.
thank you for everything.
We'll call you for descent.
870.
The controllers will have no further contact with the pilots until they begin their landing. seconds later, Itavia Flight 870 breaks into pieces and disappears from radar.
Itavia 870, Rome. Itavia 870, Rome. We're missing a flight. Itavia 870.
It's gone.
Flight 870 has crashed into the Mediterranean Sea.
It's very surreal for a controller to go through an experience like that, because you can't quite believe what you're seeing. I mean, accidents are very, very rare. So when you're a part of one, when you're watching one happen, you don't quite believe it.
By morning, Italian search and rescue teams are scanning the waters near the plane's last known position. Family members waiting at the airport are told only that the plane is missing, its fate unknown.
The first words we heard were that the plane was assumed to be lost.
Searchers soon confirm the worst. There are no signs of any survivors. All 81 passengers and crew are dead, including Alberto Bonfieri.
Io ho comprato il biglietto a mio
I
fratello
bought my brother's ticket for that damn flight, and I never saw him again.
e non l'ho più rivisto.
The loss of Flight 870 makes news around the world. There seems to be no way to explain why a modern airliner fell from the sky so suddenly. Andrea Purgatori is a well-known reporter for one of Italy's largest daily newspapers.
In 1980, I was an investigative reporter for Corriere della Sera, which was and is still the most important newspaper in Italy.
On the night of the crash, he gets an astounding phone call.
I received a phone call from an air traffic controller in Rome.
Where did you get this information?
And he said, I cannot talk to you long from this phone, but do not believe what they are going to say, because it was shot down by a missile.
The source points him toward a controversial theory. Flight 870 was caught in the crossfire during a dogfight between NATO and Libyan jets.
There was a situation of tension in the Mediterranean, which was very close to, you know, the tension you have before a war.
In 1980, the Mediterranean is a military hot zone. Italy lies just across the sea from Libya. It's an outlaw nation, ruled by Colonel Muammar Gaddafi, an international pariah.
At that time, Gaddafi was like Saddam Hussein or Osama bin Laden for the United States and most of the Western world.
Has the political tension between Libya and the West somehow claimed the lives of 81 innocent people?
Yes. I can guarantee your identity is safe with me.
Purgatori is convinced he's on the verge of breaking a major international story.
That was a kind of story that, as a reporter, I mean, you can, you know, find probably once in your life, once in your career.
Okay, let's meet.
But it will take more than 30 years to find out what really happened that night in the skies over Italy. Two days after the Itavia Airlines tragedy, Andrea Purgatori writes a front-page story that shocks Italy and the world.
It's out.
I was the first to say, okay, there's a possibility that the DC-9 was hit by a missile.
Purgatori does some digging and comes up with an astounding theory.
Western jet fighters, probably French, were engaging in an act of war with Libyan airplanes. And the Libyan airplanes were probably hiding themselves behind the DC-9. And the DC-9 was just, you know, in the wrong place, in the wrong moment, and it was hit by one of the missiles.